Recording live from the Northeast Georgia Business RadioX studio. This is Northeast Georgia Business Radio. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to another exciting edition of Northeast Georgia Business Radio. I'm your host, Tom Sheldon. And yeah, we're coming to you live from the beautiful Empower College and Career Center of Jackson County. I have with me two guests today, two at the same time. I'm excited. Love filling up the studio. The Loganville Rotary Club, I guess, has come into the studio. I have with me today Ray Lane and John Davis. Gentlemen, welcome to the Northeast studio.
Hey, great to be here.
Thanks for having us, Tom.
Good to see y'all. Rotary Club of Loganville. Did I say all that right?
Yeah, well, sometimes it's called the Loganville Rotary Club and sometimes the Rotary Club of Loganville, but either way, it's still us.
I didn't want to point that out, but I've noticed there's like 3 or 4 iterations of it.
I do think there's the right way, and I don't ever remember which is the right one.
Rotary Club of Loganville, I believe, is the official name.
That's like formal. Or Rotary Loganville, that's like the not so formal.
Exactly.
Either way, it's the same group of guys, right? And
that
gals.
Is correct.
Guys
and girls.
What
you really need to know is loganvillerotary.org.
Is that what you need to know?
That's what someone needs to know, yeah. The people that are going to find us.
Normally, John, we tease them and give that out at the end, but now people are just clicking off because they know the website.
Well, you can... Anyway.
Boy, Ray, he sabotaged that. He must be ready to go.
Get to the bottom line.
But now, John, welcome back. You were here 6-8 months ago. I don't know when it was. It's been a while. You came back, man.
I did. It was fun. It's a fun time.
You enjoyed it?
You do a great job. You get the voice out for a lot of people.
I try.
And, as we were talking about, I saw you shared some Ben McDaniel, the Barrow Club, and I was like, hey, that's a good idea. We want to talk about our club too. Ben does great stuff. That Barrow Club does great stuff. So I thought, well, let's share what we're doing then.
Talk about a great group. It really is. And yeah, Ben McDaniel. Who doesn't love Ben? I was about to say Ben who, but I just couldn't do that.
No, I got to give him some love.
It's Ben. I can't do that. I can't do that to my guy there. Ray, you are the president?
I am the
chapter.
President for this particular year. Absolutely.
You halfway through?
We are halfway through. We start in July and end in July. So.
Right. You liking it? You hating it? You running
it's
out the door screaming?
Well, it just depends on the day, I suppose. No, it's fantastic because...
Who you ask on what day?
We get to do a lot of really fun projects. We get to work with a lot of people. We get to meet a lot of people. We get to do great things like this radio show. So there's a lot involved and definitely keeps us busy.
Busy like a second job?
Well, sometimes it can feel that way.
If you want it to be. if you want it to be a second
There's
job,
always something to do, right?
There really is. And, because it's you're managing everything just like you would a business. So you are managing people, you're managing projects, you're managing finances. There's a lot involved. Fortunately, we have a lot of great people. And unlike most individual businesses, we get to draw the best of the best from all the businesses to do that. So we can bring in somebody who's a really good accountant to do our accounting. We can bring in somebody who's really good at marketing to be our marketing person. And bring that right down the line. We have a bit of an unfair advantage, but it's well worth it for the community.
It's okay. Take advantage of those advantages.
Absolutely.
Well, I think, too, the Rotary usually attracts people that are going to do things.
Yeah.
You're going to get things done, and that's everywhere. There's a saying, like, if you want to get something done, go talk to a busy person.
That's right. That is so true.
Because they're the ones that they know how to get things done.
They actually do stuff,
They
right?
do stuff.
Right.
And that's kind of what this is. And some people have a perception that Rotary is more about just people donating their money to feel good. There is a financial component to it, but what we really focus on is people doing things.
Yeah.
Right? You can help people by doing things. It's not just about money raised.
Actually accomplishing stuff.
Yeah. Right. It takes money to do something.
Oh, it always does.
But some of what we do is to create the money that we put our energy in to turn it into money that we can then use to help others in the area.
You don't have trees in Loganville you just pick money off of?
We plant them.
I was going to say we planted
We planted them.
They're just not you can't harvest them yet, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't have money growing.
We have that same problem up here in Jackson County. We do.
Cherries, potentially.
Well, actually, the city of Loganville asked us to plant some trees. That's what we did.
They may bear money. Who knows?
Somewhere.
I believe they bear cherries.
Cherries? Probably little bitty ones that you can't eat.
Yeah, I've never seen the cherries, but I'm told they're cherries.
They tell us they're cherry trees. I don't hardly know one tree from. I know what a pine tree is. So
there you go.
If they say
They
cherry
have
tree,
pine trees.
if they say they say cherry tree, it's a cherry tree. Well, John, how do you fit into this?
I'm the public image chair, right? So
you are a chair. I got you.
A chair. That means
They move you around like furniture.
It actually means I'm in charge of the public image department, which consists of me.
I was about to say the department of one.
Actually, that's not true. There's a lady, Jamie Arias. She helps out with some of the things. And, we really do try to, as Ray said, we try to divide and conquer the work. The Rotary, you have the president, you have vice president. Those are some rotating roles. And then there's a variety of roles that some of us stay in for a while. And this is my second year of the public image chair, which is kind of why I'm here.
Second of 10.
Second of 10.
We'll see. But it's fun, right? Because you get to use your skills, you get to use your talents for something else.
Oh, yeah.
And also, yes, this is about serving, but Ray was kind of touching on it too. Getting involved in the Rotary can be a great thing for people in their business. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit of my story. Like, I was in corporate for years, and I had lived in the area for 8 years, and I really didn't know anybody other than my neighbors.
Right.
And when I got into running my own business, I was like, I need to meet people. And
a few more neighbors, yeah.
I need to meet some other folks, and I want to meet the people who are out doing it. So I joined the Rotary to just create relationships, and then it compounds. I'll tell you, in our community, different chambers and things like that, just the fact of being in that club, people go, it elevates your status a little bit, gives you more credibility.
It definitely does.
Sounds a little bit self-serving, but people do want to get some benefits out of things that they're going to join and invest their time in.
Well, in general, it's nice to be a part of something, and it's really cool when it's something good.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And same thing for me. I was in various business groups,
Yeah.
but I wanted to be in something that was more than that, something that gave back to the community, something we could work with. That's how I got involved in that, was that ability to not only meet with other people that are running businesses and doing the same types of things that I am, but that are actually doing things to help the community, to help people in other parts of the world as well, because we've got international projects that are going as well as local ones. To me, that was as important as the business side of things, was being able to give back at the same time.
We had a speaker today, Judge, I should remember his name because I put it out there, Judge down in the Oconee District, and he talked about one of the leading indicators of the future, the population in prisons in the future, as they look at the number of people that can't read past the third grade level. And he mentioned that because he said, hey, I see you guys give books.
Yep.
And he goes, keep giving books. Like, if you're working on the literacy item, you're getting people past third grade, and that's going to pay back. Yeah. It's not a connection I think many people would think about, but it was validated by that judge this morning.
Unless you're in the middle of that, you don't think of it.
Right.
It makes perfect sense, though. You really sit and dissect it.
Right.
Makes perfect sense. You have several programs going on, or at least a few programs that deal with giving of the books, working with the schools, working with, I guess, students. Let's talk about that since John put us on that path.
We actually do a few things. One, we work with a group called Path United, and they donate books typically to lower income families and typically in the Hispanic communities to get them to have books to learn English and to be able to read at that higher level. And so what we do is every week when we bring somebody in who's going to talk about what they do, so today we had a judge, a couple weeks ago we had the city manager for Loganville. When they come in, they speak, we actually donate a book in their name that goes to this project. Some other things that we're doing right now with a movement called the Little Library. And what that basically is all the old newspaper boxes that you used to see around. We'd put a quarter in and take a newspaper
Pull it down
out
and
of.
it would snap your hand back off.
Yes, that's the ones.
I remember those.
So what we're doing now with those is we're turning those into free libraries, and we'll put them into, the one we're doing right now is going to go into a trailer park community. Kids will be able to come up and just take a book out, bring it back afterwards, and we'll just keep them stocked with books, and they'll be able to have this free library. And there's quite a few of them around the area. So
Nice.
these newspaper boxes have all been turning into that. So that's one of the projects we're working on now, is getting another one of those out, which should be out middle of the month this month.
I got to ask, are old newspaper boxes abundant?
That's a good question. Apparently they
Is
are.
there like an underground black market?
No, I think
That's a
what
good one.
there is a newspaper warehouse filled with these
Full of them.
things that they
What
want
are we
going
going
to
do with these things?
There's a lot more old newspaper boxes than new newspaper
I
boxes.
that's
assure
exactly it.
that. I assure you of that. Usually I thought they just ended up in the bottom of ponds and stuff, but
Well, that could be the case too.
maybe they're fishing them out.
That could
They're
be the
saving
case.
the environment by the book donation, free book.
Repurposing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some other things. So we did a coat drive
Yep.
for the year involved in that. There's a thing called Rotaract, which is actually, Rotary clubs in the schools.
Right.
And we have a chair Nicholas Key, who's involved in that, works with both the GRSP, which is Georgia Rotary Student Program, so it's
Student exchange.
Student exchange, right. Engages with them. He goes with the high school. He's also introduced us to, we had a speaker 2 weeks ago, Dr. Niles Davis, Loganville High School. It's got a really cool program. The Gentleman's Society pairs up kids in the high school. The seniors and juniors are kind of figuring it out versus some of with the freshmen and sophomores that are learning.
Not figuring it out yet.
They're learning how to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see what people are doing and how they're engaging the kids and how the Rotary works with them. And the other thing is Nicholas just graduated with his master's degree. He's like a early 20-something. Usually people think of the Rotary as a bunch of old people.
Stodgy people that don't smile. And
we're a very young club in comparison. I mean, John here is
well, thanks to Nicholas.
There's nothing wrong with the old clubs, though, folks. There's nothing wrong with those.
We like all types. But, yeah, I just wanted to point out that, we have some young folks in there engaging. It's great.
Is Rotaract, is that in high school? Is that in elementary, middle?
So there's a few
range?
different programs. There is an elementary level program, and then there's an older program. So the older one is the Rotaract, and the elementary school one
is that Interact?
Interact, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe we get that reversed.
Oh, and scholarships. I missed the scholarships. So we do scholarships every year as well.
And one of the other fun things that we do is every year around Christmas time, we actually go to the elementary schools with a bunch of books. And we dress up and we hand out books to the I think the second graders is usually the grade level that we hand them out at. Give the teachers Christmas gifts while we're out there doing that. And so that's always a fun time. The kids love it. The teachers love it. The kids get out of class for a little while and see people dressed up as elves or detectives or whatever we happen to be doing at that particular one.
Charmel gets to do her thing. We have a great spirited member who helps people get decorated in the costume and get into the Christmas spirit.
We'll leave it at spirited. How do y'all make this happen other than volunteer hours, of course? Donations?
Well, what we
raising
do is,
money?
Yeah, we do a few different donation drives each year or programs that are specifically for that. We have two big ones that we do. So in the fall, we do a golf tournament.
All right, where's that at?
So it moves around. This past year was at the Providence Club, but we've done it at Bear Creek. We've done it at Monroe. Country Club. So it just moves around a little bit depending on what's available at the time and whatnot. The other one that we do is in May, we do what's called the Wing Fling, which is a wing cooking competition. So all the restaurants come in and they cook their best wings and people get to taste them and judge them. And there's all sorts of vendors that are there and there's kids games and wing eating contests and music and everything else. And we just have a grand old time right in the center of Loganville. This year, I believe it's the 18th. May 18th, I believe, is the day this year.
Yep, I was given some data so I wouldn't forget it.
And I should have thought of that beforehand. I'm like, I believe it's the 18th. So it's a great time. We fill up that Loganville Town Green with all those wings and all those people and all those vendors, and you get to have a great old time there and taste some really good wings. We've had lots of different businesses that come in, not only restaurants and caterers, but churches will come and they'll do their wing cooking, and businesses will come in and they'll try it, and we'll have a lot of different varieties in there, people that do all sorts of different kinds of wings, and you get to taste it all and decide which one is the hottest and which one's the best. And
so here's some of the information. May 18th, 10:30 to 2:30 at the Loganville Town Green. Good job, way to remember it. People come down. Last year we had about 1,000 people attend.
Nice.
And some of it's weather dependent.
Of course.
That's 1,000 people that I think purchased wings. Some people might have bought one. So you get a couple thousand people coming through, and we're expecting we're targeting 1,500 to 2,000 people actually purchasing wings this year. And our thing is you pay $20, right? You get a plate and you get I'm not sure how we're going to do this year. In the past we've done some poker chips. You can vote by dropping poker chips in the winners, the people you like their wings. You go sample all the wings. We announce winners based upon that. Last 2 years was Philanthropy Grill.
It was. They won twice in a row.
Lane's Barbecue, I think, has come in twice, a couple of years.
Sisters has done well a couple of times.
So, I know we've got, of course, you got to have a wing eating competition.
Well, yeah.
You have to have somebody.
By law, I do believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have plenty of vendors. People can come down. You don't have to be, like you said, in the restaurant industry. You could be a marketing company. You could be a craftsman.
A lot of churches do it.
Right.
I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned it's a competition, right? It's a competition. And, of course, there are restaurants. You have a business, an office full of people, not even an office full of people, and someone in your office is just a dedicated pitmaster themselves, or they believe all food should be on a grill or a smoker. That would be me.
Come and do it.
Come and do it.
It's a competition for, I don't like to say anyone, but basically anyone.
Yeah, amateurs can take on the professionals.
Yeah. That's why I was wondering, is it, when you say competition, are people coming in, flying in across the nation to do this?
No, it's
Well, not
usually
yet.
local. We do.
Well,
we
that's
do get a
true,
few
not
that
yet.
Come,
That's the ultimate goal.
Lane's Barbecue, they come a pretty good way to come over there. I mean, not statewide, but
Right. I don't want anyone to be intimidated. Well, I could never compete against the guy with the $100,000 rig over there or something like that.
Doug over at Alpha Insurance, he usually competes.
Nice.
He's got a tent there and he cooks. And
I imagine it's a lot of fun.
So it is.
And also, if you, let's say you had a business and you don't have somebody who's the pit master, as you say, but their brother-in-law is or something like that.
Yeah.
Bring them in and on behalf of you, and it gets your business out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Or, what I did 3 years ago, I went to a restaurant and said, hey, you be the cooker. I'll pay the entry fee and all that, and I'll stand out there and get people to eat the wings.
You're sponsoring them.
So we did. So they
That's
were on
smart.
it, and we were on it as a business. So instead of just being a vendor there, I was also a cooker, and we won that year. So
Yeah, I did that as well. A friend of mine starting up his barbecue business.
there you
So
go.
it was a great way to get there.
Presented by X, yeah.
So people you can sponsor, right? And that gives people visibility on the website and the marketing. And, when we do our social media posts, we're going to give them some love. Everybody who sponsors, we give the vendors some love, the cookers, everybody. We promote
competitors.
Competitors,
yeah.
Absolutely. It's just a fun time, and it's always like a beautiful day in May. Knock on wood.
Yeah, brother,
exactly
we
right.
need a bunch of those.
Yeah.
A business does not have to necessarily be cooking wings.
Correct. Yeah.
Or even associated with it, but they can set up a display, a table,
Absolutely.
whatever you have.
And we
designated.
get a lot more vendors than we do cookers.
Right.
And so, like last year, we had 40 vendors, and we
Nice.
had 20 competitors.
That's a good mix.
So this
a
year we'd
great
like to go
mix.
even bigger. We're
Of
trying
course.
to expand our
41.
space. there.
41.
Yeah, that's right, 41.
And I think last year we had Johnny's provide the very important beverage truck / license
So
for the adult beverages.
Nice.
and there's kids games, so we got the giant slides and the bouncy houses and all that kind of fun stuff as well. So everybody can have fun.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it. Bouncy houses, beverages, and wings.
Not to be mixed between the two.
never
Don't
mind.
get the beverages and bouncy.
They don't let
Right.
the adults on the bouncy houses.
Yeah, I did.
Probably not. Probably not.
Probably not.
In-
They
in-
really frown on
In
that.
4 years, I've never done it yet. You think I would have snuck in there at some point, but no, not yet.
Well, we got to wear them down, John.
We do.
We need pictures.
Oh,
We need
if they'd
pictures.
let me in there, I would do it. I'd get it.
I just realized you're going to ask me a very important question here in just a moment.
Am I? Okay.
Wingfling.org.
Wingfling.
You're going to ask me, how do you learn more?
Well, that was, I was leading to that.
Yeah, well, I was anticipating it. So
He's ready to go, Ray.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
He
going.
has an appointment pressing something.
we're
We've given out all the websites right up front.
absolutely. We're moving very quickly this year.
Yeah.
Our numbers are growing fast this year as far as vendors.
The vendors,
getting in there.
the
and whatnot.
competitors.
So you
That's-
want to get in there quick.
That's good.
We're not necessarily saying it's going to be limited, but
It might be.
at some point it would be limited, and we would like to have more than last year, but it will be limited at some point in time. And right now we actually are doing a discount. So if you get in as a vendor now, you actually get it at a slightly
Well, that's
cheaper
good.
rate than it will be in March.
You can't beat that. Now, do you provide the chicken wings? Do the competitors bring in wings? What do they bring in? How much?
That's a choice of the vendor or the cooker. So if you're a restaurant and you already get wings in and you use a certain type of wing, you can bring your own wings. You pay one fee for that. So it'd be $100 to be a cooker there.
Okay.
If you bring your own wings. If we provide the wings, which sometimes we get donated, but everybody gets the same ones, $200.
You get
we
what you
provide the
get kind of
wings.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're very good wings.
Oh, of course.
But if you specialize, we've got one place in town that they specialize in cooking smaller wings a certain way. We got another one who cooks these dinosaur-sized wings. And so they can do whatever they need to do. If either one wants to do that, that's perfectly fine. Or you can use the wings that we provide.
I got you. So there is a choice.
Yep.
And it's just a one-day event
It is a one-day event
So far.
so far.
so far.
We've had
some
we've
talk.
thrown some ideas out.
The ambition's almost there for multi-days. So you start cooking in the morning, and then later in the day is the actual competition.
Yeah,
It's a
cookers
one
start
day.
showing it, sometimes
I think
7 or 8 in the
set
morning.
up at
they'll
like
start
crack
showing
of
it.
dawn.
Yeah.
So I think you pick up the wings the day before. Maybe that morning we pick them up 7, 8 o'clock. It's 10:30, 2:30. People are usually out by 3:30. So if you want to participate, it doesn't take your whole day, but it's one day.
Yeah,
but
so-
we really kind of shut down the town of Loganville for the day.
Yes,
So
and
it'll be
there's
tough.
the other great thing is some of the cookers, they cook off-site and bring it in
Do they? Okay.
So that's why if we get the wings to them early, they can actually do prep work and things like that. So some of them cook right there. Some of them bring it in. So you just, just depends.
And I seem to recall there's other, like I remember somebody did a barbecue, right? He brought in his smoker and he was doing brisket sandwiches and pulled pork sandwiches.
Absolutely.
By the way, I'm going to need
it.
lunch when we're done here.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So and that's something that people ask all the time too. Hey, if I'm a cooker, can I sell anything? Well, yeah. If when you're a cooker, you also have a presence there. If you're selling hamburgers as well, go for it. You can sell the hamburgers.
Secret sauce, seasoning, all of it.
Yeah, and if you're a restaurant, you don't want to be a chicken cooker, you can still be a vendor there and sell your ice cream or your whatever.
Gotcha. See, that's day 2. Brisket, smoked brisket.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because you got to start it on day 1.
Yeah. Well, I mean, wings, that's an appetizer, right? And
Right.
Not to take anything from wings. I've eaten a million of them, right? But yeah, day 2 would be the brisket.
That's a good idea.
See, I'm spurring that ambition there, John.
I appreciate that. That's good.
If you got brisket on day 2, I'll come help you.
We've talked about other things, especially if you remember about 2 years ago, price of chicken went through the roof, and we actually did talk about, well, do we need to change it from wings to something else? We didn't, thankfully. I'm glad we stayed with what we had. Yeah, we've talked about some other things, so you never know.
Let's get back to the club, the actual Rotary Club. Where do you meet, and how often do you meet?
We typically meet every Thursday at 7:15 in the morning.
Early.
Oh, yeah. At IHOP in Loganville.
Yeah, IHOP,
And
okay.
anybody's welcome to come to check it out anytime. So
Nice.
there's no, it's not a private meeting per se. So if you want to come and see what we do, come on down. We'll usually have a great speaker there, the fire chief or the police chief or some business
judge.
owner, judges. You never know who's
It's always
gonna
good
be
to know
there.
a judge.
It's always
Yes.
good. It's always good to know a judge.
My experience, several, but yeah.
Or the police chief. Or the police chief.
That too.
That too. Mhm. The sheriff.
The mayor, the senator.
Mayors are good.
And it's not all political positions either. We get a lot of business owners that will come in and talk about what they do. We had somebody from the electric company come in, and they did this great display with showing how the electricity flows. And it's like the guy that comes into your second grade class, So
Right.
we get a lot of that stuff too. So it's a lot of fun. And we meet for about an hour. People typically will show up about 7 in the morning. 7:15 we'll get started, but they'll mingle beforehand and a little bit afterwards. But we try to get people in, get it done, and then that way you get on with your day because we don't want to interfere with business. Some Rotary clubs do lunchtime, but we chose to be a morning club, and I think that works really well for us. Typically, we will do every once in a while we'll do an evening, some sort of get together,
Social.
And after hours.
Yeah, on the 28th of February, we've got one at Johnny's Pizza in Loganville, and anybody who wants to come is welcome to come check it out and see what we do. We're going to get together. We have some food. We talk about what Rotary does. We introduce it to people, and sometimes we even have special guests and speakers there as well. So feel free to join us on the 28th, Johnny's Pizza. We'd love to have you, 6 o'clock in the night.
Hey, John, is there a website?
There's multiple websites, as I've shared.
Well, let's get them all in again, man.
It's LoganvilleRotary.org. That's the main one. That's where
.org.
you're going to .org. We're out there on Facebook, LinkedIn mostly. We've got all the other things, but LoganvilleRotary.org will take you to all things. You can find out what the schedule is. You can look at the members. Say, hey, do I want to? Is there somebody here I want to meet with?
Maybe I don't like somebody.
That's right.
It happens.
Maybe I don't.
It
You're
happens.
right.
You never know.
Awkward.
Exactly.
Awkward.
But if we put our calendar events on there, once I get back to the office and update it, we have our schedule on there. You'll get links to the wing fling, and there's a summary there of just the different things we've done over the years because we want people to understand that what it is, because people don't always understand it. They hear about one story, right? So like we helped a school in Columbia, Columbia. And sometimes people say, well, why are you doing all this international stuff? Why are you worried about polio? Well, no, we're doing a lot local. So you can learn about that too on the website.
Even right now, we're actually doing a project in Africa that we're working on right now, which is a school out there that worked with in the past, and they're trying to expand. And so we're putting together some programs for that. So we kind of get all over the place with that. We're here locally. We do some things that are national, and we do some things that are international. So you never know what we got our hands in. Our biggest one internationally that John kind of touched on is eradicating polio, which, fingers crossed, by next year may be officially listed as eradicated from the planet.
That would be cool.
So there's still cases out there, unfortunately, very, very few, and it should be gone within the next year or two.
Let's root for that. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in. We covered the websites, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Do you want me to
We
list
do
them
have the
again?
golf club one if you want that too.
Yeah, hey, you got another one.
Oh, it's RCOLgolf.org.
That one's harder, yeah.
That one's harder. John, I got to give you a hard time. You're my buddy.
No, that's fine.
If I didn't give you a hard time, you'd be thinking, uh-oh, is he mad at me?
This is. I'm good. I'm good with it. Bring it on.
I know. That's why I do it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in. They're going to play my music any second.
Thank you for having us.
Then I got to wrap up. There it is. Folks, hey, check out what John and Ray are doing with the Loganville Rotary Club. LoganvilleRotary.org if you didn't catch it the 15 times we said it. Love having these guys in. I'm Tom Sheldon. We'll talk to you soon.